I'm done. Like, this is it. Like, I've seen 4 to 7 day period of withdrawals where you're sweating, you're vomiting, you can't eat, all that. If I've even rewind 4 days ago, I was depressed and hopeless just because of the alcoholism and how much control it had over me. And I went to my first AA meeting 2 days ago, and what I will say, just go and actually take it seriously that first day. There is nowhere else that you can openly sit down and talk about the issues you go through with your addiction. And I want to document this purposefully and put it online so I can always look back at myself and listen to myself and see where I was on these days to be able to help fight any urges that I may have in the future. I'm not even sure how to start this exactly, but I've struggled with alcohol for nearly 12 years now. And I know there's a ton of people out there that struggle with it too. And so, you know, I am going through my third real attempt at sobriety, and I'm on day 3 right now. And so the reason I make this is because, you know, where I am currently is I'm under a really dark cloud. If I've even rewind 4 days ago, I was depressed and hopeless just because of the alcoholism and how much control it had over me. Meaning I just couldn't stop going back for another drink. No matter what I did, I would correlate drinking with what I was doing. And no matter what I was doing, I wanted to only figure out and think about how I was going to get my next drink. And it completely got out of control. And so I want to tell you a little bit about how I got here and why I'm sharing this and what I hope to do by sharing this. So roughly about, you know, in, I would say 2013. In 2013, I had gotten married at the time. And I was only 22 years old. Funny enough, at that time, I actually had a mild drug addiction. And now it wasn't any heavy drugs. I don't know if you recall when smoke shops started selling synthetic marijuana. I was a sucker, fell into peer pressure, and I got hooked onto it. And so the first 6 months of our marriage, I was constantly hooked onto that. My addiction was horrible. I mean, it was the moment I woke up, before I went out, before I ate, before I slept, before I watched, before I did anything, I needed to get a hit. And ultimately, I ended up having seizures and went to the hospital and almost died. At the time, I was employed as a gymnastics instructor, and I lost my job, obviously. And luckily, my wife at the time had insurance through her company. I would have been in debt like right under $100,000 if I didn't have my ex-wife at the time. Fast forward a few months later, my dad passes away of cancer unexpectedly. It happened really rapidly and it hit the entire family with storm. And during that period, I ended up getting divorced and I stopped the drug addiction with the synthetic marijuana. But what I used to get over that was that thing they called liquid courage. And I got severely addicted for about the next 2 years. The next 2 years, I was constantly drinking. I mean, I needed alcohol for everything. I was functioning in society with it. I was going to work with it. Meaning I was going to work intoxicated. I would do whatever I can to continue staying intoxicated while I was out and about or at work. And eventually in 2017, February 17th of 2017, I got sober, and I got sober for 6 years. December 28th, 2022 was when I relapsed. Silly enough, and it's stupid to say this, but I want to say this out loud because anybody could be put into this position. I was traveling for work, and I went on a date with a woman I was really attracted to. And I'd been speaking to her for a few months, and she was out of state, so I'd see her only if I was traveling for work. But we went out, and then after we went out, we ended up going back to her place together. What ultimately ended up happening is, for the purpose of me trying to get closer or intimate with this individual, which we can all understand, and she offered a glass of wine, I believe it was. I was extremely hesitant. I was extremely nervous, so much so that my stomach started twisting and I had to go use the restroom just thinking about accepting the drink just to keep the night going. And lo and behold, I accepted the drink, and that kind of opened the door. After that, it took me about a month before I had another drink. And the problem with that one is I had a very great day work-wise. And I decided to celebrate because I felt like I deserved it. I felt like I had been sober long enough. I'd only had 2 drinks since, and I felt like I was ready to take back control of my life and not allow alcoholism to limit me. That's the way I looked at it. I felt like I shouldn't let it have power over me. I'm going to drink it, and I'm going to make sure I have power over it. And that's not the instance. If you've been struggling with this long enough, it's the first step that I've just learned in the last 2 days is you have to admit that you're powerless to this disease. This is a disease. And I'm going to continue making videos talking about the things I'm learning and the things I'm doing. But, the moment I relapsed after 2022, it became a nonstop cycle up until where we sit today. And there were moments where I stopped. Last year, I actually stopped for 5 months as well, too. Just cold turkey. Me and my girlfriend gave it a shot, and we did it for 5 months. And then, boom, I relapsed again. And so, what's happening now is I had a great childhood, decent teen years. Young adult years were very downhill, dark clouds. And then when I got sober, and I'm saying this so people understand, and I want to understand it myself by saying it out loud. When I got sober, my life changed completely. That 6-year period, I built up a business, I changed my life, I started traveling, I started to be able to do things I'd never been able to do before, experience things I'd never been able to experience before, and I was grateful and happy. And over the last 2 years since I've started drinking again, my business has declined, my health has declined, my relationships have declined, my communication has declined, my focus has declined, my energy has declined. Every single thing that I could possibly think of about my life has declined. I cannot think of one thing, actually, now that we're saying this out loud, that has actually improved since I've relapsed. And so this brings me to here. I don't even know if anyone's gonna ever watch this, but I'm gonna keep posting for myself, honestly. I hit a very, very dark spot this last weekend, and I finally admitted I needed some help. And at the same time, though, I was still saying I didn't need help, but something in my subconscious was telling me I did need help. It's kind of like that devil and angel situation on your shoulder. I had a rough weekend, and a lot of this has to do with business issues, business decline, and not that everything is not being worked on and getting refined and fixed, but I'm not even clear enough to be able to understand how to do so. So, lucky enough, I got introduced through my brother-in-law to a gentleman who is now my sponsor in my AA program. And I went to my first AA meeting 2 days ago, and what I will say, if you've never been to AA, or if you've been to AA but didn't take it seriously, just go and actually take it seriously that first day. Literally the first day. I went in there with the intent of actually seeking help and understanding that this is it. If I do not commit and actually seek for help and assistance from others at this point that have gone through this, I'm done. This is it. I've seen the addiction. I've lived the addiction in my early 20s, and then I've seen what sobriety looks like. And now I'm kind of back in that addiction piece again. So I know what life can look like. And that's also the reason I want to make this, and I hope maybe somebody can see this and learn from this, is that some people are only in the addiction and don't know what the other side looks like or don't think it could be any better. And what I will say is I've been back and forth now, multiple times, and I've seen both sides. I've seen the addiction side now 2 times, and I've seen the sober side the 1 time in the middle. And that life is the life I want. Great relationships, great experiences, never forgetting anything, memories that will last a lifetime, and happiness and peace, contentment, fulfillment, purpose. And so that first meeting, when you sit down and you actually pay attention, the beauty of it is the fact that every single person in that room knows what you're going through and or has been through what you've been through or worse than what you've been through. There is nowhere else that you can openly sit down and talk about the issues you go through with your addiction. When you try to stop and you go through that, 4 to 7 day period of withdrawals where you're sweating, you're vomiting, you can't eat, all that I'm going through that currently right now. I just had my first meal last night, and it was a small bowl of noodles, but I finally was able to digest something. Otherwise, I've just been eating, I've been having liquids all week, water, and then I've been making green juices to at least put the nutrients in my body so my body can nourish itself and start to recover. But everything that was said in that room and anything I felt like saying or sharing, there was nothing that nobody couldn't or someone in that room could not relate to and see eye to eye with you on and give you some sort of feedback, advice, or their opinions on. And that was the part that I didn't understand the first time I'd ever gone to AA. And that is what I didn't understand AA had within its core and in that landscape about that program. It's the community. It's the people around you, and it's how much they care. I mean, I have some people from the group texting me, motivational quotes in the morning right now. My sponsor has been phenomenal to me. And I've committed to doing one AA meeting a day for the next 90 days. And I have a sponsor who I will be contacting every evening for the next 90 days to help place accountability on myself and help build a new routine. So now, along with the AA that I've just started, and I'm only on day 3 today. I got my meeting in an hour and a half. I'm only on day 3 today. The other things I'm doing right now too is I've now started taking up a healthier diet. I'm going on daily walks. At a minimum, a non-negotiable for me is 10,000 steps a day. I want to make sure I hit that no matter what. And while I'm going through this journey, basically what I've decided is I want to recreate myself. I want to create a new routine, a whole new discipline, and a whole new mindset. Basically, Tony Robbins has said this in the past, you need to rewire yourself. And this is what I'm attempting to do right now. And I want to document this purposefully and put it online so I can always look back at myself and listen to myself and see where I was on these days to be able to help fight any urges that I may have in the future. And I want to hold myself accountable now because I want to be the best version for myself. I am a father, I'm a boyfriend, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a grandson, and almost everything I just named, these all individuals around me I help take care of right now. I am taking care of the household, and I cannot be somebody that is consuming and is intoxicated like this and continues to run away from their problems when it feels too hard. Because when I was sober, I loved problems. I loved anxiety. It made me excited. I would get to work. I would get things done. And getting it done, the accomplishment of it is what got me going and got the momentum moving forward over and over again. And I have none of that right now. And so by doing this and by sharing this, whether someone sees this or not, whether someone cares or not, whether you even make it this far in the video and want to listen or want to share your experiences with me, because I could use the help too still. I'm only on day 3. But look, I'm doing this to just be a better person. I want to hold myself accountable, and I hopefully want to help share something with somebody because I've been going on my daily walks right now. And the walks started before the AA. I started the walks on the weekend, but I've been thinking about how badly I want to just share and talk out loud. Now, I do have my sponsor to do it. I have my girlfriend. I have family around me to do it too. But this is just me alone right now in a room and potentially a couple of people on the other side of the screen or on the other side of your phone. But I'm making this commitment. I'm on day 3, and as of right now, I have no cadence on when I'm going to post videos. But my goal is to at least post a weekly video to give you a weekly update of what the last week was like. What I'm planning to do as well too is during my daily walks, I'll probably record videos and post those as shorts. And I really hope to just help somebody. And I really, really hope that there's people out there that have been through this that can help guide me too, because 6 years sober sounds like such an accomplishment, but now that it's gone and it's in the past and I am here today now, it's like it never happened. I don't know how to explain it. It's very hard to decipher because now I'm back in the same position and it feels like that 6 years sober was just a little break and it's gone now. And life just continued from the time I stopped before. Or the struggles of trying to combat the addiction continued from before. I'm going to be documenting this journey, and I would appreciate any advice you could provide to me. And if you're going through this and you're attempting or you are about to or you are deciding, thinking about becoming sober, do it. Do it and find as many resources and tools and people as you can that can help. And part of the reason I'm doing this too is because when I take my daily walks, I've looked up many types of sober videos or people going through things, and I found some stuff, but You know, and there was nothing that really was saying the verbiage I wanted to hear, which is why I am saying it out loud so I can hear it myself right now. And I hope it connects with anybody out there, somebody out there. And so look, I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet. I kind of laid out a plan of what this looks like. But because I'm still going through withdrawals and I'm trying to create a new routine and a new cadence, this is part of what I told myself to do today. On my walk right before, I had a ton of anxiety, and I didn't want to do this. I wasn't going to set up the camera and talk to the camera. I have no script. I'm literally just talking off my heart, out of my heart right now. I got back from my walk and I delayed almost an hour to turn the camera on and set it up because I was like, maybe tomorrow I'll do it. But you know, I'm doing it right now, and I'm doing this as a commitment to myself. I want to add things to my plate, more things to my plate, more things that excite me. I like making content. It's what I do for a living for work. And so this excites me. This is creativity, but I want to add things to my routine, things that hold me accountable, things that I commit to, that I will stick to. Because we have to see those daily wins and progresses within ourselves. Otherwise, we won't ever improve. We will never build the confidence, and we'll never be able to take it a step further. So look, if you're going through this, good luck. Stay strong. Just one more day. I mean, they say it's just a day at a time. And honestly, that's the way I'm looking at it right now. Of course, there's a lot of skeptical feelings and doubts and going back into sobriety with AA, the commitment. There's so many things that are going to go through your head that are going to cause you to doubt everything and get confused and scared or anxious. But I would say every human being instinctually knows what is the right decision and what to do to actually be a good person and what they can do to be the best versions of themselves. I genuinely think the majority of people know these things, and they can think them right now. Like, you could literally think these things at this moment and you'd be like, yeah, I know I have to do this, and I could be fantastic. The problem is implementing it, even though it's so simple, really, right? And so that's the reason I made sure I did this video today, because I told myself I was going to do this on day 1 of sobriety, and I'm on day 3. So it took me 2 days to get the camera out, but I did it. And so trust your gut, and don't let that evil inner voice take control of you. You have to figure out how to control it. And it all starts with some sort of program. And masked in the word program to me is routine. And I think you need to create a routine for yourself. And so this is what I'm doing. This is my progress right now. This is what I'm going to be doing as I continue my journey of sobriety. And I'm going to keep sharing it on the way. So thank you if you tuned in. If you didn't tune in, it's okay. Ray, if you're watching this, keep going, man. Keep going, because right now I'll tell you what I want, man. I want a better life again. I want to be the best version of myself again, man. I want to fix everything that I've broken in the last 2 years, and I want to thrive again. I know what it feels like. I know how to get there. I just need to beat this issue and stay focused. So if you're watching this and this is in the future, dude, I'm struggling right now. I hope you make me happy.